Good morning and welcome to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS, and this morning we're joined by two mayors, and they're both graduates of our public school system. They have a shared story of leadership, and because this is the 100th episode, I thought it'd be great to maybe pull in our most recognizable graduates. Ooh. Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey. They're going to talk about their roots, responsibilities, and the road ahead for our community. So first of all, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. No, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So we'll jump right into the questions, and if people see the bells on the table, we're going to play a game a little later, but I gotta keep it.
There may be some editing to that game. A little later.
There may be some editing.
We're really excited about that game, if you can tell.
Okay, so both of you guys are local. So thinking about some of the schools you attended, you will walk through the same hallways many of our students walk through today. When you think about your time as a Southside Hawk or JCM Cougar, what kind of things come to mind?
Gosh, a lot of things. We're just doing it like it. I was Andrew Jackson, Highland Park, Denmark Elementary, West Middle, Southside. And so I think for me growing up, starting out, we lived in the city. Mm-hmm. My mom was a county school teacher, and my grandmother was a city school teacher. And so going into fourth grade consolidation, still lived in the city at that point, but then got to go to school with my mom out to Denmark. Mm-hmm. And I was in the classroom in third grade next to my grandmother. And so, yeah, a lot of great teachers.
Does that mean you had to behave? Is that what that means?
Well, that means the word traveled quicker when I didn't behave.
Okay.
I was amazed by the time that I got home from school that my mom already knew if I'd it didn't happen a lot, but if I'd misbehaved. A lot of great teachers, a lot of great friends. And, walking through those halls, some of the schools, aren't used as schools anymore. Mm-hmm. Some of the schools are not there anymore. It's thinking of all just the people and just connecting the dots later in life of, man, that you were related to this teacher of mine or principal. And being the big little town Jackson is, there's always a connection.
Mayor Massey, thinking about those hallways you walked through.
So a similar story, I kind of followed my dad around. My dad was a football coach and teacher, and so I followed him around. And I was at USJ till the 8th grade when he was there, and we all kind of left the school that year, and he became coach at JCM. So I became a Cougar, and then 2 years later, Dad actually left and went across town to Northside. Mm-hmm. Gave me the choice to stay at Northside or to stay at JCM or go with him to Northside, and those relationships, that's a testament to JCM. I didn't want to leave. Mm-hmm. Looking back, a lot of merit in playing for your dad and going through practice with your dad. At the same time, I had a base of friends that I loved and wanted to maintain those relationships. So we got to play against Northside, play against Dad 2 years in a row. We did beat him both years in a row. I only played defense, and he was a defensive coordinator, so I never really played directly against his side of the ball. But we did take on the W both years. So those were fun times. But, coming to JCM, it didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter what race, what gender, what lifestyle, what economic level you left home and came to school. There was a place for you at JCM, and that's what I really valued is walking the halls, whether you were a jock or a theater kid or a band guy or a chess club or sometimes all of the above. Right. You had a group of friends that were your friends and would look out for you, and then we all got along. I mean, I can tell you in 4 years, the amount of friends just kept growing and growing and growing. And to this day, the diverse group of friends I have, I would not have had JCM not enter my life when it did. And so, prime example, coming into office, I hired a former classmate of mine, Terica Smith, to become my deputy mayor right off the jump. And so, met her in 1996 and hired her into office in 2022. So, those kind of relationships have built over time and continue to grow. And I really, truly value my time at JCM. I really do.
We're visiting with Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey, both proud JMCSS graduates, on episode 100 of the JMCSS podcast for the district. Now, I know you both played sports, but I'm going to guess you were involved in some other things as well. Miss Tucker, former principal at Southside, always encouraged students to find their people or find that thing. And you kind of spoke on that, A.J., about finding your people.
Yeah.
Theater, were you also involved in?
I was, yeah.
So I was sing.
Whoa. wait. Mayor Conger, what was that?
He can sing.
He who?
Mayor Massey can sing.
Is this right?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
We're going to let him warm up, and then a little later in the show.
Well, I was raised by a music teacher. My mom was a piano teacher and music teacher all my life. My dad, actually, he'd be embarrassed for me to tell this. He was in the choir growing up. I mean, as kind of big physically and manly as he was up there in the choir at church every Sunday. So I grew up around music, and that was a big part of my life. But yeah, theater came in partly because of my mom and her connection to theater. And so as a freshman, I knew how good Becky Fly was. I'd heard about her, and I knew how good that program was at JCM. And so jumped on board. I took theater every chance I got. I was the theater teacher aide as a senior, which talk about a joke class. I literally just hung out with one of my favorite teachers in her class all day during my senior year. But yeah, I mean, it absolutely diversified. One of the most fun memories I had from JCM, honestly, was so senior year. You play football in the fall, and then the spring you're done with football. I didn't play any other sports, and so I had fourth block free, and so we'd go out as seniors and we play different games, frisbee football and different things. But then that spring of my senior year, a bunch of football players went out for Guys and Dolls. And so if you're not familiar with Guys and Dolls to play, it's about gangsters in New York who are running an underground crap game. And so there I am, a theater veteran at that point, with 6 or 7 of my teammates, and these guys are not guys you would envision being on stage dancing and singing, but we had so much fun playing these 20s and 30s era gangsters and sing. It was just zoot suits, hats, the whole thing, but it was an absolute blast. But it tells you even back then, as tough as those guys wanted to appear, we'd still get on stage and dance around because it was camaraderie. It was fun. So that was one of my best memories is once again, we had blood, sweat, and tears on the field, and then we had a different level of blood, sweat, and tears on stage the next semester. So it was an absolute blast.
Mayor Conger, activities outside of sports while you were in high school? Yeah,
I played football and then played soccer my senior year. Involved in Student Government Association, different clubs. A lot of my camaraderie, I wanted to work. I liked working, so I had my first job at Catfish Cabin. And so spent a lot of time there and, developed friendships from people from different schools as well as those that went to Southside. So it was, we had a lot of opportunity and a lot of fun. I played soccer my senior year, not all 4 years, thinking that it's something about stay in shape, right? It's different sport.
A lot of running.
I don't know if you know that. It's a different
lot
sport.
Of running. Yeah.
Day one, we go run a mile. I was like, a what? 40? Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, it's getting involved in different activities and staying busy really helped just build those relationships that are still going on today. When I was a freshman, I had a great senior class of teammates. Graduated in '98, right? Yeah. Okay.
So, Mayor Massey, you brought a thought to my mind. You mentioned spring of your senior year. Okay. So right now it's football season, and we hope that the teams that are lined up to play in the playoffs can get there. But we know there are some pockets of teams around here, they won't get the chance to play in the postseason, and their careers will come to an end. And when you're a young man, that means a lot to you. So in reflection, what advice do you have for these young men and women, when you think about girls soccer, who are getting ready to lose the thing that's probably the most important to them in their lives right now, and still find some identity and drive as the second semester of their senior year starts? What advice, Mayor Conger, would you have for those young people?
I think every part of life is about phases and stages, right? And so I think the most important thing for an athlete is that student-athlete component, being a student first, knowing that whatever may be beyond the football field, the soccer field, baseball, softball field, is that a next level, whether that's employment, whether that's trade school, whether that's community college, university, to focus on that next level and know that everything has its phase and everything has its time. And if you're just focused, it's great to focus, and it's important to focus on that one thing at a time, but always be prepared for the next step.
Mayor Massey.
Yeah, I'd echo that as well. Football, particularly for me, I'm a little biased being raised by a football coach. It's the greatest sport on planet Earth because it mirrors life in so many ways. But ultimately, Dad had this. He had it painted on the walls of the locker room at Northside when he was there, but the number 15. And the idea being, before this season starts, we want to play and be competitive in 15 games this year. So that meant 10 regular season games and then 5 playoff games. He didn't say win every game. He didn't say a perfect record or anything, just 15, the word the number 15. And so I'd encourage students, when that identity is gone and that competitive spirit is sort of out of your life directly, there's still goals that need to be attained. I want to reach, I want to get an associate's degree, or I want to get accepted to this program, or I want to excel to this level in industry. The same thing is, I want to be competitive and show up to 15 games. I want to be competitive and show up and be on the map for this raise or this promotion, getting into the school I want to get into. That's the piece, and it goes in spurts, right? Like, I got to sit down, I got to write an essay to get into to school, or I have to apply for this loan or this assistance. I've got to sit down and I got to run a few plays in a row. I got to sit down, I got to focus for a while. Then I have some downtime where I can kind of see, well, how did that go? How can I get better for the next play? And it's just building on those things. Use whatever skills you have, teamwork, selflessness, focus on a goal that you can kind of lock arms with other people. Do that in your everyday life, and that stuff can carry you through. I can tell you, athletics it really does serve you throughout life, because you can reach inside and go, I remember when we were down and it hurt and I didn't want to, but I did it anyway, and the victory I saw through that. And so carrying that to any kind of success you have post school is important.
Thank you. We're visiting with Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey, both proud JMCSS graduates, on episode 100 of the JMCSS podcast for the district. When we come back, we'll have a few more questions, but you guys are ready to have some fun? We'll play a game, maybe a quiz show.
Sure. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stand by. You're listening to For the District. It's the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. There's never been a better time to choose Jackson-Madison County Schools.
Yes, sir, I love it. It's absolutely an amazing environment. The teachers and the way their teaching is, their instruction, all of it is just really encouraging.
With a number of magnet schools and specialty programs, you can experience a higher standard tuition-free when you choose Jackson-Madison County Schools. Visit jmcss.org to schedule your tour today. Welcome back to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools on JJ 97.7 FM. We're joined today by Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey, both proud graduates of the Jackson-Madison County School System, talking about their roots, their responsibilities, and the road ahead for our community. Right now, we're going to have some fun. You guys want to answer some questions, play a game?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay. Let's do this alumni Guess Who.
Oh, okay.
And
Great.
this is fun. And, the reason you guys are here, because, you guys are our graduates. So
Yes.
We're going to flash some pictures on the screen. And when you're ready to identify the first one, ring the bell.
Just the first picture, like the first slide.
Just the first picture in the first slide.
Okay.
We'll go in
right.
order.
All right. Okay.
Ready?
Tyrese Miller, U.S. Federal Marshal.
Okay. That's
Do I need to get more specific?
I thought you were going to say
you're
go.
good.
I was
You're
okay.
good.
All right.
You're
Okay.
good.
All right. Okay.
Western
Oh,
District.
my bad. Go.
We're bad at this game. We're bad at following
We
rules.
should have had some practice
Number
round
2.
or something.
Oh.
District Attorney Jody Pickens.
Oh, wow. That's a point for Scott Conger and the Southside Hawks. Should I
you
do it
go.
that way?
No.
Okay. Third picture.
That's Federal Judge John York.
Scott Conger. Southside.
What
Southside
district?
too.
What? No, I'm joking.
You
I'm
know that
joking.
district, yeah.
Magistrate.
Yeah.
I was going to say magistrate. Do I get half
Great job,
credit?
guys. Thanks for being good sports. Let's go to the next screen. Now, I'm not. I hadn't said
Oh
go
my
yet.
God.
But
Whoa,
what I
whoa,
want
whoa.
you to see here is
Okay.
we're showing you the last group. Their names are up there. Okay, and I will let you start anywhere on this screen. I'll let you start anywhere on this screen when I say go. Go. Mayor Massey.
Juvenile Court Judge Christy Little.
Oh.
Top right. Do I just keep going?
Well, no. You know what? I'm going to give you kudos because you didn't just start with yourself. Wow, that was cool. Yeah, I want to give that. So that's AJ Massey and the Cougars. Is that
That's
how I
right.
should score that?
Yep.
Okay, go.
Yep. Oh.
Mayor Conger.
I'm going to go with Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey.
Wow, that was very, very, very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice. Go.
Well, I got to give the City of Jackson Mayor Scott Conger, the Scott Conger.
All right.
That's what I'll say there.
Good deal. Go. Wait. I'm not sure who went first.
Okay.
Then. Here, stand by. Bells down.
Okay.
And go. Okay.
I gotta go the Southside guy, the Madison County trustee, Billy Burkhead.
Oh, that's a point for the guys from the south side of town. Go.
Yeah.
No,
Mayor
definitely
Massey.
got that one. So JCM graduate,
Oh!
class of 1999.
Yes, sir.
Deputy Mayor and HR Director Terica Smith, Madison County.
Great job. Hey, you guys are great sports. This is the first time we've ever played alumni Guess Who, so thank you for that. We'll come back.
Obviously, the first time we played a game with bells ever, 'cause we don't know how to work them. So
Pretty bad.
We'll get
Stay in
back.
school, kids. Stay in school.
We'll get back to some questions. So, you guys are both leaders in our community. I'm curious, do you ever have to work together? Because, technically, you represent the city, you represent the county. How often do you guys have to collaborate?
All the time.
Yeah.
It really is, to get to quantify it, probably weekly, I would say at least. The city is inside the county, and so there's a lot of crossover there, but then we both have interest with a municipality the size of Jackson inside your county. Mayor Conger and his team and the city have to succeed for the county to have any chance of succeeding. So it's in my best interest. I can't tell you how many times that I don't venture to say the public doesn't know about things, but we're able to head off some issues before they become issues, because he and I are able to sit down and knock out a solution and come to the table with one before it starts to fester. And that communication has to happen. We don't have to agree, but we do have to sit down toe to toe and have conversations for the betterment of all 100,000 of our county residents and 69,000 city residents.
Mayor Conger, how would you describe
Yeah,
it?
I think weekly. If it's not face to face, it's a phone call, it's a text, and from small things to large things, from industrial recruitment, economic development, all those things. It's important. I think it's not just important for us to work together. I'm able. Your new athletics guy for Parks and Rec came in just to introduce himself this morning, and so having our departments know each other and talk with each other and work together is important for the success of everyone in our county and city.
And probably the most common communication is, "Are you wearing a coat? Are you wearing a tie?"
Yeah.
'Cause we don't want to one up the other. So I drove up and he was getting his coat out of the car. I was like, I already had mine on.
Yeah.
Because I think, you guys being graduates of the Jackson-Madison County School System and wanting to impart some wisdom or some insight to the youth. Scott, thinking about football at Southside High School, there's 60 guys in the locker room. And I don't know that I got along with all 60 of those guys.
Yeah.
As an adult, you guys have to work alongside large groups of people, large organizations, challenge after challenge, activity after activity. How do you move forward when people don't agree? And I know what that looks like in a locker room.
Yeah.
But what does that look like in an organization like the Madison County or City of Jackson?
A lot like a locker room. I mean,
Okay.
if you're down to it, it's
So the seniors get their way? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it depends. It's. I think it's about compromise. It's about understanding what the bigger picture is. Not everyone agrees. We can have those debates, and a lot of our debates, by design, are in public because we do the public's work. And so you may see a council meeting and go, "Gosh, those folks can agree on anything." But then we get to a vote, and it may be a 5-4 vote, 6-3, 7-2. But the majority is going to carry the decision. You get into departmental issues. It's just about what I work with my departments are. We're bigger picture. Take a step back if we get bogged down in kind of the weeds of things. Take a step back and understand why we're doing this. The goal is at least for the city side, is to make Jackson better. My goal is make it just a little bit better every day than it was when I woke up. And so keeping that importance, the important things important, knowing that what the big picture is and what the future is and how we're driving there, and knowing that it's not going to be a straight line.
Right.
There's going to be a bunch of turns and detours, and you may stop and just take a break for a minute. But bringing people back together and just having that conversation, like I can think of several scenarios in my head now where we were in the same room, several of us, and 3 or 4 out of the 5 or 6 didn't agree, and it was a much longer meeting than I felt it should have been, but we had to go through that process.
Yeah. Mayor Massey, again, got to set the picture. We know when people don't disagree on a football team, we know what that might look like. But in public office, in government, in business, how do you move forward when people don't agree?
Yeah. Well, I think it is. I think it's drive for consensus if possible. Obviously, that's kind of the low hanging fruit. But similar to a locker room, you've got all age groups there. You've got 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, freshmen. You've got sometimes 18, 19-year-old seniors, all different classes of life. And then beyond that, on the field, they have different skill sets as well. And so and they all look and function differently. The offensive lineman isn't built to play wide receiver, but that's not what they're designed to do. And so in each situation, you can see the value of that teammate and what they can bring to the table. And we have 25 commissioners, which is a lot of commissioners to try to rally around any idea. But you have so much diversity in the room, and that's what I've really been pleased to see at times when people are able to kind of step into their expertise. We have an agriculture issue. We have a couple of farmers on the commission that can step up and say, "Well, I've got friends in that space. I've worked in that space. Here's how that's going to impact us." We've got business leaders in there that understand budgets at a high level, and they say, "Well, here's what we did in my business to drive efficiency." You've got some people with some more social type ideas and more social leaning and service leaning that can bring in the nonprofit perspective on things. And so just like, the punter in the locker room is just as important as the quarterback, is just as important as the holder, is just as important as the lowly long snapper.
Wait a minute,
like
do
me.
we have consensus with that statement?
Yeah.
Everyone has a place.
Everyone has a purpose. Now, here's the difference. Not all the time, though. And I think
Right.
that's what I'm driving at is
Okay.
that any one person leading 100% of the time is probably not going to make the best choice because they're not nobody's that well-rounded. So when you have 25, sometimes it takes some humility to step back and say, this isn't my issue. We need to hear from that department head. We need to get their opinion. Sometimes that department head needs to fade away, and we need a different one to come to the table. So same thing with the locker room is, you can say that there's importance levels of a football team, but I promise you, with 2 clicks on the clock and you're down by 2, that kicker is really important at that moment. Now, the quarterback was important up to that moment, or
Right.
that defensive back was important up to that moment. Right now, somebody else is taking the stage. And so having the humility to cheer on your teammates and see value in them and give their opinions weight takes on a new role when you're doing, like Mayor Conger said, in the public eye. That takes on a different flavor.
Awesome. Well said. We're visiting with Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey, both proud graduates of the Jackson-Madison County School System. We've got one more segment left. Thanks for being with us this morning. Don't go anywhere. More For the District, the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools, returns after this break. There's never been a better time to choose Jackson-Madison County Schools.
Yes, sir, I love it. It's absolutely an amazing environment. The teachers and the way their teaching is, their instruction, all of it is just really encouraging.
With a number of magnet schools and specialty programs, you can experience a higher standard tuition-free when you choose Jackson-Madison County Schools. Visit jmcss.org to schedule your tour today. Welcome back to For the District. It's the podcast for Jackson-Madison County Schools. This morning, we are visiting with Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey. They've been kind enough to join us to celebrate the 100th episode of the JMCSS podcast. So, talking earlier, I know there's some collaboration between city and county, but you are your own entities, and those entities are unique in their own way. So, letting people behind the curtain a little bit, how does a city mayor differ maybe from a county mayor? You have the same title, but
Right, yeah.
they're different entities. So, somebody ring the bell and jump on that.
Yeah, well, county leadership is a product of the state. We're a pseudo-state entity, so Tennessee Code Annotated says how we operate, and how we do that is through county commissions. Essentially take all the legislative action within the county. County mayor, like I said, 33 some odd departments in the county. There's 11 of them that report directly to my office that I can have direct influence over. The rest of those offices are the judges, trustee, assessor of property, other elected officials that don't answer to me directly. So the collaboration is a big part of my job. And then, of course, there's 25 commissioners that are on committees that are oversee our highway department and parks and rec department and different departments throughout the county. So I don't have a vote in our meetings. I don't run our meetings. I'm an observant of our meetings. I have a lot of activity between, of course, trying to collaborate and get things across the finish line. But ultimately, it's up to 13 commissioners to make the final vote, and then I'll take care of the majority of the day-to-day operations and collaboration in that space.
Mayor Conger?
Yeah, I think if you look at the city government as an organization, the city mayor operates as the CEO. The city council, 9 of them operate as kind of a board of directors. So we have 32 departments. All of them report to me. There's only one that I don't directly hire, and that is the city recorder, who's the finance director. But the way the charter is written, I make the recommendation to council. They can approve or deny it, and if they deny the recorder's position, then I just make another recommendation. So it's based on my recommendation. The City of Jackson is a private act through the state of Tennessee, so we get to construct our own charter and has to be adopted by the state. And so I don't either have a vote in the meetings, but I do run the meetings. Sometimes I wonder if I could just be a bystander, but so it's day-to-day operations, making decisions, working with our departments. And the important thing, I think, is if you're looking at having to hire those positions, are finding people that have that expertise. I tell my city engineer a few years ago, if I have to, as I was working on the hiring process, if I have to tell you about engineering, then we have a problem. I need you to know more about that than I do.
Right.
And so having those people with expertise in place that can give great feedback and get the job done.
Yeah. Mayor Massey, to hear you guys talk about these organizations, they are large organizations. Yeah. You were both elected officials before you became a mayor. Is there an instance, a year, a conversation that in your previous role as an elected official helped in your journey in preparing to be a mayor?
Well, I'll say for me personally, in my day job, I was a banker, and then I joined the Jackson-Madison County School Board. And you want to get somebody emotional, mess with their money or mess with their kids.
Okay.
And so entering both of those spaces, just high emotion, really. I mean, it really was. And so the school system, it was not, there was no casual observant of the school board meetings. It was either fully supportive or fully against. And then collaboration within the council or the school board was difficult at times. But also, I joined the school board in 2018. 2 years later, we're dealing with COVID, which the city had its own issues, county had its own issues. The school system had our own decisions to make in that space. And then we hired a new superintendent smack in the middle of it too. So it was a difficult road to go through, but just seeing some of the good decisions that were made throughout that portion. And Dr. King, I give tremendous credit to, because he did some things like applying for our online school number during that process. We were 6 months ahead of any other program in the state, because he knew that online learning was going to be a long-term thing. It wouldn't just live through COVID. It would survive. And so we applied for a school number for JASA before all the other schools in the state did. And so then they scrambled to get ours. We were sitting there with ours waiting. And so some of those things that I've taken into this office of, you do have to think ahead in the game, 5 and 10 and 15 years, not just to the next election, not just to the next budget cycle, but making decisions that set up success for the next generations is a big part of that. And that's something that, once again, seeing through COVID and the stress that had on us. I mean, we didn't know school was going to be a thing. I mean, we didn't know how it was going to look long term, and nobody knew that. And so we were making the best decision with the most information we had right there. And I got in lots of arguments with friends that y'all should be open, and well, we don't think we should. And looking back, maybe we should have changed things. But I think that was extremely helpful now, is just do the best you can with the information you have now. Bring the boat as close to the dock as you can, because there's risk when you step off of a dock into a boat. What we consistently did is we were still taking risk. Do we open? Do we not? Do we hire this person or do we not? Just get as much information and make the best next decision that impacts long term.
Mayor Conger, thinking about your previous experience as an elected official, helping you prepare to be a mayor.
Yeah, I think, for me, is directly assisted. It was being on the city council. So I was on the legislative side, understanding, the information and that was given, to the information that, needed to be shared more. And so I think that helped me coming in, understanding that, listen, a city council person is an elected official, but they are part-time. And you get information as it's given to you. And so trying to be more open with information, and share it earlier and share it more abundantly in communication, opening the line of communication better for not just the council members, but for citizens, department heads, and employees to make sure that they have an opportunity to know what's going on, and then trying to communicate the decisions being made, how we got to the point where we are. And coming into office, I had about a year and a half, 2-year gap where I wasn't in office because I had to resign from council from moving out of the district. And so being that private citizen too and stepping back going, well, I don't know what's going on at all. And I've been plugged in. And so how do we create that opportunity for people to understand and for people to get the information that they can? And then knowing that we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make decisions that may not work out the way we thought they would work out, or they did work out that way and it wasn't the best decision to be made. And so it's having the communication with the council to let them understand or just present them the information and let them make their own decisions. I'm not one that goes in and tries to lobby council members any certain way. My job, I think, is to provide the information and then let them make the decision because they're elected to represent people as well.
AJ, Mayor Massey, you brought up school board, and I want to ask both of you, when a school system is successful, when there's an era of gut feelings and people can disagree but get along, how does that change the complexity of your jobs when there's, peace? Because, AJ, you said their money and their children. That's what people get emotional about. So when there's calm, when there's progress in your school system, what does that do for a county or a city?
Makes things exponentially easier. When I think of our operation in the county, there's these mountains of importance, and when I mean importance, needing attention, that we have to get right. And our budget is one of them. Our industrial partnerships, our employee base is one of them. Our medical system is one of them. Those are things that need to function well for our citizens to have good quality of life. School system is absolutely on that list. And so when there's lack of cohesion there, when there's confusion, there's infighting, it adds an extra 10 levels of difficulty to any decision. Bringing in industry is more difficult. Trying to fund roads and projects is more difficult. Trying to recruit good people to run for office can be more difficult. And then when and then crime is impacted by that, and so our safety piece comes into it. So once again, having our school system and our schools improving and on firm footing, and with positive vibes, for lack of a better term. Good word of mouth. And once again, true success, showing improvement in scores, showing improvement in safety, all those things. Dr. King asked me when I first took office as mayor, what I could do for him. And I said, or what he could do for me rather. And my answer was simply just keep him safe and teach him what you need to teach them, and he took that to heart, and that's what we've seen. We have robust security. I have a child in Jackson-Madison County Schools. My wife is there a few days a week, so I want him safe. At the same time, I want to make sure that my child's is maximizing his ability and his efforts and what he can do, and that's happening as well. So once again, it's just one of those things, like as with my fire department or my sheriff or my EMA, I trust those people. Those departments run well. I just don't have to worry about it, and the fact that we have a school system that's on the same level is definitely just one less thing to worry about.
I echo everything Mayor Massey said. I mean, look at that's the front line of tomorrow. And so if we're talking about bringing in high quality jobs, we're talking about bringing in industry, creating that quality of life. Those students are the ones that are going to drive that in the future. And so I think that's selfishly kind of the reasons that Mayor Massey and I ran for office, because we both have young kids and we want to be a part of creating an environment ecosystem where all children can be successful, not just be successful, but want to stay in Jackson and have an opportunity to be successful once they graduate. And so I tell people all the time that it's our job to make sure Jackson-Madison County is a place that people want to buy, and it's Chamber's job to go out and sell it. And that's school system, county, city. We got to make it a place people want to buy.
This is the 100th episode of the JMCSS podcast. We've interviewed a lot of folks, had a lot of conversations, but this is certainly one to remember.
Congratulations on 100 episodes.
Thank you.
We'll officially say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's excellent.
We do want to thank Superintendent Dr. Marlon King for allowing us to do innovative things like having a podcast, expanding our athletics and our esports and robotics, and making it easier for our students to find their people. Not everybody's going to be an athlete. Some people like theater. If you've seen Arts in the Dark that we had recently at Melissa's, that it really shows you the importance and value of investing in varied areas, whether it be academics, athletics, and the arts. One last question before we get out of here. You guys, again, large organizations, serious work. When do you have the most fun in reflection? When do you have the most fun? You know, we see you at different events. We see you at the meetings. When do you maybe have the most fun?
You know, yeah, I think, right. Large organizations, very serious job. I take my job very seriously. I don't take myself very seriously. And so
Explain that.
I mean, I like to have, I like to poke fun at people. I like to poke fun at myself. Greg, we're from Southside, man. We talk trash, right? I mean, that's
a little bit.
I'm not familiar. We don't have to. We don't have to at JCM. We're not required.
It's just having fun and surrounding yourself with people. And then, like I said, I have 2 kids, so I spend a lot of time on baseball field, football field, theater, and so it's and kids keep you humble. I mean, they know that Dad goes to work and he has this title, but it doesn't mean
anything
a thing
to them.
Right? Yeah, no. And so, family, church, and then I try to have as much fun as work as possible, knowing it's a serious job. But if you go in just being serious all the time, then I think you'll just end up driving yourself crazy. So you got to have fun with what you do.
Good deal. Mayor Massey.
I'd echo that as well. I have a lot of fun seeing success happen and seeing positive news come out. I really enjoy the industrial recruitment side of this job, just to be real specific about it. I love selling our community. I love talking to people internationally in some cases and telling them why we're better than that state that's 1 or 2 over. I enjoy that. I enjoy coming home and knowing that, what I'm doing is directly impacting my children's future. As Mayor Conger said, they don't care that they just want to play, or they want to get. My oldest son wants to talk about some stat or something on football that he wants to talk about. I had an event last night, and my son said, "Hey, Dad, when you have your birthday party, can you bring me home a cookie?" First of all, it's not a birthday party; it's a campaign fundraiser. But but that's his perspective. It's just parties are parties, right? You're having a birthday party, so those are things. Once again, just being able to look at my child playing on a ball field that our county impacts and makes better for them, and parking on a parking lot that's been paved for the first time in 40 years, and things like that. That makes me happy, and that's probably the most fun part. Is I really sometimes selfishly wish I would get the credit, but I'm okay that we don't. If it happens, and in 30, 40 years somebody looks back and goes, "Man, I'm glad somebody did this," and my name's not included, that's okay, because I know my kids are going to have the opportunity to experience that. And once again, as Mayor Conger said, I want them around. I want to be able to convince them that we have built a community that they don't want to leave. That we're not missing anything. They can run to Nashville, Memphis, and have some big city experience, but right here they have the network, they have the facilities, they have the recreation, they have the entertainment, they have the safety, schools, everything they need to feel comfortable raising their families here.
This has been the 100th episode of the JMCSS podcast for the district. We want to thank Jackson City Mayor Scott Conger and Madison County Mayor A.J. Massey, both proud graduates of the Jackson-Madison County School System, for joining us. Again, if you missed the first half of this conversation, visit radio731.com, our YouTube channel, Spotify, or Apple Podcast. We hope you have a great Sunday, an excellent week, and we'll see you next time.